Hello, and welcome to the podcast. And we're going to call this podcast Friends of Terry Virgil. That's the name of the podcast. Today's episode is a pretty unique episode. What we got, and I'm going to just say it in 3 words, Hillary Clinton hates. That's the name of the episode. And I'm going to have a lot of different things to say about this, and I could really show how Hillary Clinton does hate, and yes, so does every Democrat, every liberal, we know every communist and every socialist hate both freedom and liberty. We talk about freedom and liberty a lot, and we go into a lot of different areas on freedom and liberty, and we base our real facts on a couple of things. The thing one is, when you got freedom and liberty, you talk about what it is exactly all about. Number one, I know Hillary Clinton and the rest of the Democrats are going after Donald Trump. Okay, fine. I am not going to promote Donald Trump as a candidate for the Republican Party. I'm not a Republican. But let's put it this way. As a true conservative as I am, we're going to say this much. If you got freedom and liberty, you don't come out and say, well, we got different ways to get rid of or to handle ISIS. I know Obama likes to call it ISIL because he believes that the land that's called Israel belongs to the Muslims. That's where he gets it from. That's why it's always different with him. And that's a liberal way of putting it. It really is ISIS. Hillary Clinton, I would say this much, as a commander-in-chief, would be the second biggest bozo that we've ever had in the United States of America. She has no idea how to fight a war. Yes, she knows how to fight politically. But how to really command a military? She says, well, what we're doing is fine. Well, not exactly fine. Because here's the facts. Number one, you got to know what your enemy is like. Number two, she's never read the Quran or Sharia law. I have. I've researched this area and have given out plenty of information and talked about these things all the time. Number two, her idea on freedom and liberty is to tax everybody at 100% across the board. Yeah, she says we got to help the middle class. While the people that she wants to help, the Democrats and the liberals have hurt throughout the century and the last century since 1913. And believe me, federal income tax is a violation of U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, Paragraph 1 through 20. If you don't believe me, I challenge you to look it up, people, because I'm actually sick. I'm not tired of preaching about it. Matter of fact, I'm going to keep on preaching about it and keep on teaching. I'm also teaching about Hillary Clinton who hates freedom and liberty. I've heard it from her own lips on stage in front of millions of people in that debate that was held on December 19th, 2015. Those words came right out of her lips that she hates. We even see the words from Bernie Sanders and O'Malley, or Governor O'Malley. But the real key issue is, one thing, Hillary Clinton took her time just getting out of a bathroom break. Guess what that tells you? She doesn't care. Or she doesn't want to debate. She won't even talk to conservatives because she thinks she's right. Well, here's the one thing. She claims to be a Christian. Well, actually, she claims to be a Methodist. Well, she puts the Methodist Church to shame. Because the Methodist Church is supposed to believe in God. And yet, She doesn't. She claims to be a Christian Methodist. That's a denomination. Here's another thing. When you talk about ISIS, the word ISIS really means Islamic State, Iraq, Syria. That should give you a very good clue that it's the Syrians that have caused the war with the Iraqis. That should tell you right there. And seeing that Obama has finally admitted that he is a Muslim and is in favor of ISIL, because there is a difference. ISIL means that it stands for this. It was Islamic State, Iraq, and believe it or not, the rest is really territory, which means there is no Israel according to Obama, who hates the Israelis, who hates the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. That's the reason why he shunned him, because he hates the truth. I will always set up this program to speak the truth. Yes, there will be different things that we will talk about. We'll talk about religion. And we are with ISIS. It's a Muslim denomination that hates and wants to commit jihad because they believe in what is in the Quran and Sharia law. Both state that they are to go out and commit jihad, holy war against all infidels. And if you read Quran 8, it says against all Christians and Jews. Now we got another understanding why a person should classify ISIS and the Islamic and ISIL as the same. All it is another denomination of ISIL, and ISIS is the killing force for the Muslim church. I'm not promoting what Donald Trump said, but I'm beginning to think he was correct in what he stated. We got to, with this exception, we got to be careful who we allow in the United States of America. Look at what happened in San Bernardino. We had a person of the Taliban and ISIS working together with another moron that believed in whatever he could think of because he was a liberal. And yes, here's a key fact. Obama said, and here's a key fact, it came into this nation under a marriage visa. So that should tell you that we got to look at our ways of allowing Muslims into this country. Yes, we're going to have to kick some of them out, and we're going to have to keep them from coming across the border. That's a fact. Freedom and liberty depend on that alone. Hillary Clinton says, well, Donald Trump is promoting war and promoting ISIS. You know what? She can run and hide like an ostrich in this and put her head in the sand all she wants. That's not a way to fight a true enemy. Obama, being a Muslim, refuses to send troops on the ground to destroy ISIS and the Islamic and ISIL. Both of them need to be destroyed. And that would take care of everything. The reason why, and here's the other thing that kind of connects the dot with Hillary Clinton hating. We're going to move on to U.S. Constitution Amendment 2. Why do these Muslim believers, such as Clinton, and why does these people say that we got to get rid of and control all guns and all weapons? And here's why. That allows the crooks to come in and well, I'm going to put it this way. Not the crooks. Excuse me on that. That allows ISIS and ISIL and the Taliban and Al-Qaeda to come in to destroy America through the soft spots. The areas that say no guns allowed. You notice when you see a sign that says no guns allowed, it's a target. Clinton is actually targeting America by saying no guns allowed. Clinton has said it several times. Obama just repeats that fact, and they got this other moron, and all of them are morons, by the name of Ketchup Man, this guy I like to call the Secretary of State, John Kerry. He's a good ketchup man maker, saying that we got to get rid of guns. And they also armed Iran with a nuclear weapon, people. That's exactly what that plan was all about. You had a Muslim go in and say, well, we'll give you your weapons back, but please promise to wait till after 2016 to come in and destroy America. That's exactly what Obama's plan is all about. There is no plan to put boots on the ground. He wants to disarm America, people. That's what Obama wants. That's what Clinton wants. That's what Ketchup Man wants. Every liberal, every Democrat wants this. So let's face facts, people. There will be no peace. None, if this happens. To eliminate U.S. Constitution, Amendment 2 means that the sovereignty of the United States of America is no more. And Obama has said it several times that he could take America by evolution versus revolution. People wake up and smell the coffee brewing, because that's exactly what evolution is. To get rid of the Constitution. Because once you get rid of U.S. Constitution, Amendment 2, you get rid of U.S. Constitution, Amendment 1. You get rid of Constitution, Amendment 10. You get rid of Constitution, Amendment 9. You get rid of Constitution, Amendment 5, 6, 7, 8. You get rid of the first 10 amendments. You destroy the sovereignty of the United States of America, and that's what Hillary Clinton hates, is the sovereignty of the United States of America. I've heard it from her. I've heard it from her husband, Bill. And I've heard it from every Democrat since 1913. I can read history. Every Democrat has stated, without saying the exact words, that they hate the sovereignty of the United States of America. Bernie Sanders, who is a self-claimed socialist, had his own socialist person in charge of the United States of America in the 1930s and 40s, up until he died in 1945. It was Franklin D. Roosevelt. He had also another puppet by the name of Harry S. Truman. You got all kinds of morons. Look at this moron. Let's talk about John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Another moron. Let's talk about his predecessor, the other moron, who hates freedom and liberty, just like these people did. They just didn't say it, but you can read. And I know people can read and understand history. His name was President Johnson. Matter of fact, I'll even go as far to say the other moron, and I don't understand